All right. Well, look, we're not throwing it together this morning. We're trying to be incredibly up to date. Bob McCoskrie from Family First is going to join us shortly. They have literally just announced in like the last half hour a new kind of campaign called the What is a Woman campaign in the run-up to the election. Of course, Family First, not a registered charity. That was taken off them for strange reasons. They are a conservative, one would say, lobby group based on Christian family values is what they'd say. But I really want to find out for you guys what is a woman, I think it's a website or campaign, is really all about. I hate to think that I've kicked the hornet's nest or been involved in this in any way. I'm just trying to mind my own business. All right, he's on the line now. What is going on? What is a Woman campaign? We're joined by Bob McCoskrie, the CEO of Family First New Zealand. Bob, nice to have you back on the platform. How are you doing?
No, good to be here, Sean. Good morning.
All right, what is a woman?
Well, it's the million-dollar question, and it's something that New Zealand has struggled with. Politicians have struggled with, businesses have, media have. So as part of the lead-up to the general election, we're just putting out a simple question. What is a woman? And our challenge to people is if you're going to vote for a political candidate, if they can't define what is a woman, why would you ever allow them the opportunity to make important political decisions for this nation?
All right, so it is most definitely a political... It's a campaign being launched in the context of this year's general election, which is, 85 days away. Do you, and does it, given that context, Bob, do you think there is a political party that you would recommend as having a better idea of what a woman is than any other? Or is it a question you want thrown at all of them?
No, I'd like it thrown at all political candidates because it's not only the leaders, it's also the individual candidates as well because, there's 120 votes in Parliament and they all matter. One of the things we are asking as part of the campaign is there's a petition and it's for woman to be defined as adult human female in all our laws, public policies and regulations.
And that's so by biological markers, not by gender preference.
An adult human female, yep. So this is to avoid all the issues that we're finding in sports, that we're finding in changing rooms, in girls' colleges that you were just talking about, so that it will only be biological girls. And, of course, it's very interesting timing, Sean, because we've got a Women's World Cup about to kick off. And, it's important that we can define the woman and we don't see biological dudes trying to resurrect their soccer career on the pitch. So... It's interesting timing, but look, in terms of the political side of things, it's such a basic question, and yet so many people can't answer it. Even our Prime Minister, couldn't answer your basic question. So we just. Well,
I think he could. I didn't think he wanted to in the context of the wokeness inside the Labour Party. I think that was his problem, Bob. If we were honest about it, he knew exactly what the answer was. He was just too scared to say it.
Yeah, and we are preparing our Value Your Vote resource again, which we've done for the last 6 elections, where we've asked political leaders a number of questions around social issues. Some of those issues you and I would disagree on, but that's fine. We can speak up about that. Yeah. And also we've looked at the voting records of existing MPs. The good news is that most of the political leaders do have an idea of what the answer is, the correct answer is. The ones who are struggling, of course, is the centre-left parties, which is Labour and Greens. Marama Davidson obviously is a little bit confused about it after the Posey Parker incident, although she would blame that on a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, the mystery motorcyclist.
Yeah. Although we haven't been able to get to the bottom of that one. There's been no arrests made, and I've had OIAs.
He's pretty busy. It's like he's riding up and down the corridors of the Beehive most of the time, it would seem, Bob.
Well, I think the investigators are about as effective as the ones investigating the cocaine in the White House. So I don't know if we'll get an answer there.
Bob, there's no way, let's be honest about it, there's no way that this isn't essentially, this campaign, an anti-Labour Greens campaign, right?
No, it's not, because I think what you'll find is, as you put this question to political candidates from various parties, you're going to see some of them go through the same brain gymnastics that the Prime Minister went through when you asked the question.
Right. So what you're suggesting is that, individual Labor or Green candidates could be at a hustings meeting and you'd like people to throw this question at them.
Oh, absolutely. We need to find out, do they understand basic biology and truth? As I say, if they can't answer this question, why would you trust them with your vote on to run the country?
Yeah.
And also,
so basically it's a question designed, Bob, to expose sort of wokester virtue signallers.
Well, it shows just how far our society has crumbled in terms of the fact that we're even debating this question, and that this question is even controversial. That's how far we have gone down the virtually signalling, wokester approach, and it's harming society. Women aren't feeling safe. They can't even hold a rally and talk about the issue without being accosted by, activists shouting them out and assaulting them. So that's how bad this debate has got. So we need to get back to the basics and just find out, okay, who actually understands biology and truth.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I think the petition is important, because I think we do need to go back to our laws and public policies and regulations in terms of protecting girls in schools and changing rooms, protecting women in sports, and also, for example, just telling the truth on birth certificates, that birth certificates are based on historical fact of who and what we were when we were born, and not based on just self-identification.
All right.
So it's just bringing us back. Look, people can live and let live as they get older, but at the moment we've got policies which are putting young girls at risk, and women don't feel safe. It's time that we just got back to basic biology.
All right. If people want to learn more about what do we call it? The What is a Woman campaign or initiative? Where do they go?
You've got to go to whatisawoman.nz. Check out some of the signs that we've got. We've got a campaign which says Love Woman XX, with a little play there on chromosomes, of course.
Yeah.
Love Woman XX instead of Kiss Kiss.
Yeah.
And there's a wonderful little 2-minute YouTube promo that you might like to play this morning, actually, Sean. It's quite fun, which is just highlighting what is a woman NZ. So that's on YouTube as well. But,
okay, we might give that a whirl, Bob. Once only, we won't charge you.
Okay, thank you.
Bob, thanks for coming on this morning at rather short notice. It will be interesting to see how this unfolds in the context.
Well, I'm sure you'll be one of the few media to actually want to talk about it, Sean. That's the ironic part.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
And actually, you may be interested. You may be interested to know that we did order full-page ads, and to stuff in the ODT's credit, they ran the full-page ad. But guess who didn't want to do it? Didn't want our money? The New Zealand Herald. So
the New Zealand Herald are what grounds did they use for turning you down?
They basically ducked and dived and obfuscated and said, we want to see the website, and they just did everything they could not to put the ad in, and then they said they would yesterday, and then yesterday afternoon they said they wouldn't, and so there's no ad, and they're not going to get our money, and apparently that's what government funding does.
Yeah, mind you, the Post said government funding too, and so is the ODT, so...
Yeah, well, credit to them for actually just putting up a simple ad that says, what is a woman? I mean, It's pretty controversial, isn't it?
What's the video called again? We're going to have a look at it and see if we can give it a play today, Bob.
Just go to whatisawoman.nz and you'll see the YouTube embedded just in the page there.
All right,
2
mate.
minutes. Yep.
Thank you very much for your time, Bob. Good luck with it. That is Bob McCoskrie. He's the CEO of Family First New Zealand. It is a conservative, I'd say Christian conservative lobby group. It is deregistered as a charity because politically motivated people didn't like what it's doing. There's no way you can't see the What is a Woman campaign as in a political context. It is. And as he said, the parties or the politicians that have most problem with that question are Labor and Green politicians. So what do you think about that? And are you inclined to get involved with it or sign a a petition around that. Paul says, Sean, Posey Parker should come back. I could almost guarantee a large police presence and no protesters. Paul, we're going to be talking to Posey in the next few days. I think we're talking to her and going to have another chat with her. She does plan to come back to New Zealand.